The truth occurs.
Hi everyone, Truth Girl Sonia here. First of all, YouTube is probably going to demonetize this video just because of the subject matter, and I have to say, things are getting pretty dire on YouTube. It's pretty discouraging. I mean, I don't know if people realize this, but making these videos, it's very time consuming. It's a job, and you know, I can't work for free. I do have a family that depends on me, so if it keeps going like this, I'm gonna have to find another source of income because my day job doesn't pay enough for us to live off. So this was like what I was doing as a sort of sideline. So now let's talk about the topic that will get my ad taken off. Operation Gotham Shield, U.S. government to simulate nuke blast over Manhattan as actual war nears. This is from shtfplan.com. It was picked up also by InfoWars and a lot of other people. Well, the idea here is that because the government is doing a drill involving a nuclear scenario happening over New York and New Jersey, that this could possibly mean that an actual event of this kind could take place. The reason people think this is because there is some history of catastrophic events that were, it turned out, false flags happening at the same time as there being drills. I don't really need to pull up the examples, do I? I think you know them. The point being, it's happened before. And now, remember, I've been around for a long time. I've seen a lot of things. And what I've seen over the years is, of course, people are on their guard. And when something like this comes up, and some big outlet like InfoWars or whatever picks it up, puts it out there in the public, and people start looking, and they're watching it, and they're afraid that it's going to be a false flag. Something is going to happen for real. But what I've also noticed is that when there has been a false flag that, or a disaster, let's just say, that coincided with a drill, people noticed it in retrospect. Like these things happened years ago. People picked up on it. Since then, they've been looking to try to predict one, but so far, no one has ever successfully predicted one. There could be a couple reasons for this. One, the reason being that once you put it out there, it foils their plan. And the other reason could be that drills happen all the time and that they are not a particularly good indicator or predictor for false flags. Every year they do NLEs, and every year people are afraid this is going to be martial law. I mean, I've been seeing this for years. There are drills happening constantly all across America. And if they didn't do drills, they'd be in trouble when something actually goes wrong. So they kind of have to do them. But then every time they do them, it gets people's guard up. Well, not every time, because there are like hundreds of them happening every year. But a few of them, people will pick up on it and say, oh, maybe this is going to be the real deal. You know what? Let me just bring up one that came up a while ago that was really like this. There was a lot of concern about it. The New Madrid quake disaster scenario. I mean, look at these predictions from 2013. False flag alert, February 7, 2013. Devastating false flag attack is coming our way. Is the New Madrid mega quake being engineered? And people were really worried that they were going to create an earthquake and blow the New Madrid fault, and a lot of people were going to die. In the end, the only thing that happened in 2013 was there were some severe winter storms. I don't think it was related. I haven't seen any accurate predictions coming to pass in the last few years. So let's look at Operation Gotham Shield. There's a PDF here, and they show exercise location. There's several of them. Washington, New York State, New Jersey, another one, Washington, New York City, and Brookhaven, New York. Interesting locations. So there was Northern Lights 2016, an exercise in response to an accident at Monticello nuclear generating plant. Well, they had it in October and nothing blew up. And it looks like they're going to have one in 2017. Worst case scenario, they run their exercise and at the same time they what? Blow up a nuclear bomb over New York City. I mean, that's a pretty heavy thing to think that your own government might blow up a nuclear bomb over a major city. That's a pretty scary thought to live in a country where you're that afraid of your own government or of the shadow globalist government behind it. Okay, here's why I don't think it's going to happen, aside from the fact that they run drills all the time and they're not a good indicator of false flags. First of all, as you know, obviously, Donald Trump is the president. Where does Melania Trump live? She lives in New York. If Trump has anything to do with running the US government, like assuming he actually has any power, I would say it's highly unlikely he's going to set off a nuclear bomb right over where his wife and son live. What kind of a person would set off a nuclear bomb right over where his wife lives? Number two, where does Trump work? Well, Washington, D.C. So he's going to set off a bomb where his wife lives, and he's going to set off another one where he lives. I mean, what kind of an idiot would do that? To work on the assumption that they would actually do that, I mean, the government with Trump as the head, supposedly, you have to work on the assumption that he's willing to blow up his own headquarters and his own family, his own home, and his own buildings. I don't think so. How come no one has brought this up? There's a way you can work around that. You can say, well, Trump's not really in power. It's the shadow government. It's the liberals are going to blow him up. They're going to blow up his home and where he works. They're going to blow up Donald Trump, blow up his whole family, set off a nuclear bomb. Yeah, except that New York is a liberal state, so why would they do that? Like, there's some serious gaps in the logic. You got to think of it like this, like everything that's done, it has to be strategic, there has to be a reason to do that. So please tell me, what would be the reason that either Trump himself or his opposition would want to set off a nuclear bomb over New York or Washington? Give me one reason. Give me one reason. What is it? Key bono. Please tell me, key bono. Because as far as I can tell, nobody bono. And I know this is not what you want to hear. This is not sensational. I'm sure I think people like to get their daily dose of fear and hype. Well, fear and hype sells, and I think that those who sell fear and hype, when there's a lull, they just make some up. Oh yeah, and the purveyors of fear porn, of course, are well aware that right now there's a lot of hype about nuclear war. So, of course, they're going to look for a nuclear drill, and they're going to just blow it up into this whole thing, the predictions of a false flag, when really, I'm pretty sure they know darn well there's nothing to this story. No, really, that's what I believe. I have to be pretty brave to come out and say that, because probably I'll lose a whole bunch of subscribers. Because people seem to enjoy being lied to and misled and freaked out. Anyway, I figure I have nothing to lose. Because I talk about the stuff, YouTube will take off my ads. I tell you the truth about what I think about it, probably I'll lose a bunch of subs, but you know what? Whatever. YouTube is so screwed. I have my own issues, like I cannot get through an entire day at a job because I'm like this, as I've explained in other videos because of my sensory processing problems. I literally cannot function for several hours in a row. Also, I have a child with special needs. Anyone who has a child with special needs knows that this often requires you to abandon what you're doing and run to the needs of your child, such as picking them up in school in the middle of the day because of behavioral issues or whatever. So for me, working from home has been working well, but until now. Anyway, I figure I don't have much to lose at this point, so whatever. So that's what I think. Let me know what you think. Thanks for liking and sharing this video. Thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.